guys, welcome to week 7, recovering a sense of connection. I hope everybody had a great week, and I just want to take a minute and congratulate you all. This is our halfway point through the book, The Artist's Way. So congratulations, everybody who's continued along here with me. This has been a rewarding experience for me so far, not only going through the book, but leading this group in this workshop has been extremely rewarding for me. And as somebody who's leading a group, it really helps you solidify the knowledge that you're taking in. So thank you guys for being a part of that. I really appreciate that. Welcome again. If you're just joining us, it's 2:02 p.m. and we're going to go back over week 6 and check out how we all did. Hi, Zandra. Thanks for being here. Good to see you. You can see me. I can't see you, but how did your week go, everybody? Give you guys a minute to kind of type in your answers. Going over our check-in from last week. Oh, this is a little far for me today. Cool. Awesome. So, just as our check-in, I'm going to go ahead and read our weekly check-in, and we'll go ahead and you guys can either answer in the chat or just answer with yourselves and check in with yourselves on how you did. Welcome, Kim. Awesome. You got a commission. That's wonderful. And this is a stained glass commission that you've got this week. That's so exciting. If you care to, you can share a little bit more about your commission. I think we'd all be excited to see how that goes. And, oh, yeah, it would be cool, too, if you shared with us your progress on the commission. Maybe post a link to your social media once you get further into it or it gets completed. That would be cool to see. Hi, Jeremy. Welcome, welcome. Oh, it's been challenging but good. Yes. I definitely had a lot of things illuminated for me, and I'm pretty excited to share with you guys how that went. So just checking in with yourself, you guys. How many days this week did you do your morning pages? I actually did morning pages every day this week. Oh, good. You got out of a gravity pit. How was that? I wanted to try that. That's a sensory deprivation pod, right? A 3-panel window. That's awesome. Yay. A 3-panel window. That's really cool. I'm gonna go check out your social and watch for you to post on it. Oh, an energetic gravity. Oh, I see. I'm gonna move my my computer a little closer here. I can read it better. Okay, so have you guys been able to use your morning pages as a creative outlet for yourselves yet? I know a lot of times when I'm writing my morning pages, I'll have ideas come to me as I'm just writing and flowing. Thank you, Sandra. I love my throne too. It's so, it makes me feel like magical and cozy. And I actually have a tapestry hanging on the ceiling in here, and I have a wood sculpture that I made hanging on the end here. You can kind of see it through the sheer here. I went and picked up some driftwood and stuff. So I think I'm going to hang something up here too. So it's cute and magical and cozy. Like my own little secret hideaway. Also, did you guys do your artist dates this week? What I did this week was I spent all day yesterday at the park with my new flow toys. I got these fans that you can dance with, and they make really pretty formations. So I spent all day. I actually went on to the park 3 or 4 times last week just doing that. And so that was a really fun creative outlet for me. Sandra says she's found she don't particularly get ideas in morning pages. They're a place for her to unload. That's perfect. Like a mental goodwill run. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. No, and that's really good too. Especially if you've got a lot of things that are weighing on your mind. It's a really great outlet. Kim says morning pages were a place to dump her not positive things also, but she switched them to the evening pages to unload negativity so that the morning pages can be positive only. Oh, so are you doing morning and evening pages then? That's a pretty good idea. I know sometimes I'll do my pages in the morning on the weekends, and then during the week I do my morning pages in the evenings. Or right when I get home from work. Sandra says she's been considering doing morning and evening pages. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that would be a negative thing to do. I think that would be cool. So it sounds like Kim's got us going in a more dual 2 times a day. Yeah, I think that would be a good idea. Because I find benefit in the morning and at night, but I typically just do it once a day, but twice a day, that would really be good. 100% agreed. All right. What about your artist dates, you guys? And also, did you experience any synchronicity this week? If so, what was it? And then, was there any other issues this week that you consider significant in your creative recovery? I'll go over mine as we go through this next week because they kind of relate to this week's content, what I have been uncovering. Sandra says a 15-minute timer gets her there and back again, basically. Well, that's good. Yeah. I just set a limit of 3 pages for myself. And sometimes I'm writing half a page and then I get distracted and do something else for 5 minutes, and then I come back to my page and then I write another page and a half, and so once I'm at the 3-page limit, I'm done, because sometimes sitting down for an extended period of time is hard for me. So I have kind of that ADHD brain where I'm streaming multiple things at once, or if there's multiple things going on, sometimes I'll drop something and come back to it. But I do prefer doing my morning pages in one sitting, but sometimes I'm a little distracted, but I still do them. No artist date. In your gravity well. When you're saying gravity well, let's see, you said energetic gravity type. Yeah. So you can, it's almost like you need that starting energy to jump out of it. And I find that there are certain things that I habitually get stuck in with that. And then I just have to basically force myself to get started on something. And then once I'm getting the ball rolling, then I create a kind of energetic momentum for myself and I'm able to continue. But it's good to have that action based. Yeah. Okay, good. All right. That's what I thought you meant. Yeah. Sandra's agreeing with what I said. So we're on the same page here. All right, you guys, that's our week 6 check-in. Oh, we got one more. Kim says 3 pages can be rough all at once. I think as long as you make the effort, that is a win. Yeah, I agree with that. But I've found that even if I don't have anything to write on my 3 pages, just writing, I don't know what to write. Oh my gosh. And then like whatever, like if you're familiar with meditation at all or Buddhism at all, there's this thing called monkey brain. And that's basically like when you're like so distracted and your brain is going from thing to thing. Like when you sit and meditate and you're trying to quiet your mind, all the thoughts that come in. I find that sometimes I just write down all the things that are distracting me. And that seems to help. I do encourage you to do all 3 pages at once, but yes, sitting down and doing even anything is a win for sure. Just showing up for yourself is a win. So this week it is the subject. So week 7, again, congratulations, you guys. We finished. You have monkey brain. I know you do, Zandra. We all do. Congratulations, you guys. This last week was week 6. We're officially past our halfway mark now that we're getting into week 7. This is a 12-week course. So congratulate yourselves, pat yourself on the back. You know, you guys have stuck with it. And even if you miss some things here or there, like this is still a great accomplishment. Just continuing to bring back your attention to what it is we're doing and finalize this is a big win. I know I've really struggled to get through this book by myself. So I think having the group is really nice. So thank you guys for joining me. But week 7 is about recovering a sense of connection. And I'm just going to go ahead and read about it in the sidebar. It's pretty quick, pretty, like we've already digested a lot of content. So I think that this content will just be easily digested for you guys. So we turn this week to the practice of right attitudes for creativity. The emphasis is on your receptive. Whoa, sorry. So let's just start this over. This week to the practice of right attitudes for creativity. The emphasis is on your receptive as well as your active skills. So receptivity and being active. The essays, exercises, and tasks aim at excavating areas of genuine creative interest as you continue to connect with your personal dreams. So the first topic, there's several topics that we're going through today, and the first one is listening, and it's about how, art is not about thinking something up. It is about the opposite, getting something down. The directions are important here. And she continues to say that the morning pages train us to hear past our censor. And you know, the censor is that negative mind in your head that says, I can't, I won't, you're too dumb, you're too this, blah, blah, blah. That censor is that just that negative part in your brain that we need to learn how to tune out. It's that part of yourself that says that you can't. It just doesn't believe in yourself. So the morning pages help you just spew whatever out and get past that. And the artist's dates help us to pick up on the voice of inspiration. And that's that part inside of you that is like, ooh, wouldn't it be cool if, you know, it's that pairing of new ideas and concepts with possibility and just ideas, spitballing, throwing things around. I really like this. I relate to this a lot. When a painter is painting, he or she may begin with a plan, but that plan is soon surrendered to the painting's own plan. This is often expressed as the brush takes the next stroke. We are more the conduit than the creator of what we express. Again, those of you that struggle with the concept of not being in charge of your own creativity, I just liken this to trust the process. So oftentimes I'll start a painting and I'll have an idea for the painting, and I trust that by the end of the painting, it's going to not only become something that I didn't necessarily envision initially, but it's also going to be what I did envision, but better. Or expanded. So I like to take my creative process in a phase based approach. So like the first phase is like sketching out my idea. The second phase is maybe honing in on some details. And the third phase is really letting it become. And what I mean by that is actually getting down, doing the work, and allowing whatever my painting turns into to be that. Oftentimes I'll be experimenting with new ideas. I'll just be painting and I'll kind of zone out and I'll just get in my flow, and then all of a sudden I'll have something that I didn't really imagine, but that I'm excited to have. So just allowing your creation to be whatever it is and being non-judgmental of it. And that non-judgmental part is really the challenge at first. Oftentimes we can be non-judgmental with certain types of things that we create, and then we move on to something new, and then all of a sudden we become judgmental of ourselves in our creation process. And we're going to expand on that in a minute. Zondra says, I like to imagine it as I am a wire soldered on a circuit. It's not my job to make the electricity. It's my job to carry it as part of a larger system. Exactly. And the more and more you are allowing this to happen, the more and more creativity you're going to be able to express. So it's really just about opening up and allowing that flow to happen. So yeah, I really like that. Oh, here we go. Let's just further this discussion. So art is an act of tuning in and dropping down the well. It is as though all the stories, painting, music, and performances in the world jive just under the surface of our normal consciousness. Like an underground river, they flow through us as a stream of ideas that we can tap down into. As artists, we drop down the well into the stream. Mm-hmm. So, I already talked about my notes already. Look, I already had my notes all communicated, you guys. So, these moments of clear inspiration require that we move into them on faith. We can practice these small leaps of faith daily in our pages and on our artist states. We can learn not only to listen, but also to hear with increasing accuracy that inspired, intuitive voice that says, do this, try this, say this. So I was watching a show this week, and one of the characters on it said something that just really hit me and that really resonated with me. So I want to read it to you. The challenge reveals the weakness. The weakness is what keeps you from winning. And I liken this to my avoidance in doing things that I've said I want to do. So this week I finished a motion graphic that I was working on, and I'd been wanting to work on motion graphics for a couple of years, and it started out with my computer dying and me not having the capability of creating it. Now I have a computer and I have people that I can do this for, and I still hadn't done it. So this week I actually started and completed. I took that leap, and it was very well received. So then I said, okay, I'm going to do another one. And I started to do it. And then the habit of resistance that I've been carrying associated with this particular task kept rearing up its head. And I think that this can be related. I think that everybody can relate to this when they're in a creation process. Let me just read that again. The challenge reveals the weakness. So in this instance, it's taking up that task that I said that I have been wanting to do, that I really want to do. But it's important to me. So because it's important to me, my weakness is not taking action on it. So the challenge reveals the weakness. So I say I want to do it, and then I don't. Why? The weakness is what keeps you from winning, not taking action. The challenge reveals the weakness. The weakness is what keeps you from winning. So that's kind of something like Kim said a week or so ago, that something I said she wanted to frame and put above her desk. Well, this is one for me. This is big time, because like I have big dreams, and sometimes I scare myself with them because I know that there's like a lot of work to get there, and it's easy to avoid the baby steps because you feel like the task itself is too daunting. So it's something to really think about as we read this. So once you accept that it is natural to create, you can begin to accept a second idea, that the creator will hand you whatever you need for the project, or that the universe will hand you whatever you need for the project. Stop fighting for your limitations. That's exactly it, Kim. That's exactly it. Stop fighting for your limitations. Oof. Or in other words, stop fighting for your excuses. Stop giving airtime to your excuses. You know, a lot was illuminated to me this week. The choices that I made on how I was going to spend my time really, really indicates to me my excuses, right? So, I mean, not to say that I didn't do anything artistic this week. I just have very high standards for myself, and I do this and I do this, and then I'm like, okay, I'm ready to do the next thing. And it's hard for me to allow myself to have that time to relax. But I work hard, I play hard, but allowing myself to relax hard is difficult. So balance, and not allowing excuses to override that balance. No, tangent complete. All right, so you will see useful bits of help everywhere in your life. Be alert. There is a second voice, a higher harmonic, adding to and augmenting your inner creative voice. This voice frequently shows itself in synchronicity. Learn to accept the possibility that the universe is helping you with what you are doing. Expect the universe to support your dream. It will. All you really have to do is just take one baby step after the other, and then synchronicity is going to happen and doors will open for you. We've already talked about this. So how do you stop yourself from finishing projects? Through your insistence that it must be perfect. This is the next thing that we're going to read through. Oh, I got ahead of myself. Perfectionism. Getting it right, you may call it, or fixing it before I go any further, you may call it. Having standards. What you should be calling it is perfectionism. I caught myself doing this with the motion graphic. Instead of going broad and doing my project in a systematic broad scope, I went and honed in on things that I thought that I needed to fix, rather than getting my entire project roughed in and then going in and honing on specific things. It's really easy to allow perfectionism to drag you into, what do you call this, a gravitational well, Zandra? Where you just kind of get stuck, like fixing this one little thing. And this is where it gets really good. Perfectionism is a refusal to let yourself move ahead. It is a loop, an obsessive, debilitating, closed system that causes you to get stuck in the details of what you are writing or painting or making, and to lose sight of the whole. The perfectionist fixes one line of a poem over and over until no lines are right. The perfectionist redraws the chin line on a portrait until the paper tears. The perfectionist writes so many versions of a scene that she never gets the rest of the play. Instead of enjoying the process, the perfectionist is constantly grading the results. Oof. A painting is never finished. It simply stops in interesting places, says Paul Gardner. Who can relate? Give me an eye. Sucker punch. Yeah. I feel attacked. God. How do you stop yourself from finishing projects? Perfectionism, stuff that you're going to sit there and call a mistake when in reality, like, you're just stopping yourself from finishing a project. Until, like, you know, that need for it to be perfect makes it not fun anymore. Yikes. So I want to read a little quote here from Agnes de Mille. I can't pronounce. I think it's French, but I don't know. Living is a form of not being sure, not knowing what next or how. The moment you know how, you begin to die a little. The artist never entirely knows. We guess. We may be wrong, but we take leap after leap in the dark. Right? Where am I? So here's a question for you guys. What would I do if I didn't have to do it perfectly? The answer? A great deal more than I'm doing now. The success of a creative recovery hinges on our ability to move out of the head and into action. This brings us squarely to risk. Most of us are practiced at talking ourselves out of risk. We are skilled speculators on the probable pain of self-exposure. Art is, what is the word? Vulnerability. Art is vulnerability. You create something and you put energy into something and then you share it, and then caring about what people say, especially if they're not creating something similar, can be painful. Even if somebody does do the same thing that you're trying to do, it's hard to hear their comments on it. But this goes back to that talk that we were talking about constructive criticism in one of our previous videos when we were going through all this. And again, it's that Brené Brown quote: if you're not in the ring getting bloodied and battered and bruised, I'm not interested in your feedback. But oftentimes we're the ones beating ourselves, and we need to learn to let that go because it's not helpful. And oftentimes it keeps us from doing what it is we want to do. So I'm going to read that again. What would I do if I didn't have to do it perfectly? And the answer is a great deal more than I am. The success of a creative recovery hinges on our ability to move out of the head and into action. This brings us squarely to risk. Oh, I just read that. I'll look like an idiot, we say. We don't compare our student films to George Lucas's student films. Instead, we compare them to Star Wars. Also, he started out as an author, right? Oh, no, never mind. He didn't write them. Now I'm sounding stupid. Oh, well. In order to do something well, we must first be willing to do it badly. And safety is a very expensive illusion. We must break through I can't because. We won't do something unless we can guarantee that we'll do it perfectly. You're never going to do anything with that attitude. We unrealistically expect and demand success from ourselves and recognition of that success from others. With that as an unspoken demand, a great many things remain outside our sphere of possibility. We cannot escape, here's from Susan Jeffers. We cannot escape fear. We can only transform it into a companion that accompanies us on all of our exciting adventures. Take a risk a day, one small or bold stroke that will make you feel great. So what is something that you avoid? What is something that you can take one small action on today? Oftentimes have so many things on my to-do list that I'll look at my list and I'll say, I'm not going to do any of it. And then I just sit there and go get stoned and watch TV. What's your way of avoiding facing perfectionism? So how do you stop yourself from finishing projects through your insistence that it must be perfect? Is it, oh, there's too much to do, I'll never accomplish it, so I shouldn't even do anything? Is it honing in on the small finite details when you should first be going broad and getting everything roughed in and then fine-tuning and going smaller and smaller? Is it just that you don't have a good pipeline? Is it that you refuse to watch a tutorial? So hopefully this is kind of getting you guys to think about some things that you can do. So there's even something in here. It says, if I didn't have to do it perfectly, I would try. And she's got like this whole list. So one of them is even just wearing red lipstick, archery, learning German, figure drawing, puppeteering, reading poetry in public. That's pretty. I dance in public. I went to the park and like we were blasting music yesterday and I was like spinning my fans and I was just like straight up dancing and like, you know, you have that initial thought of, oh, people are looking at me, but it's like, whatever, who cares? Who cares? It doesn't have to be perfect. People don't have to like it. I like it. So next we're going to cover this nice topic that everybody has encountered, and it's jealousy. Even as an artist, like I'll look at other artists and what they're doing and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. I don't think that I could ever do that. But then you need to pull back and realize you are competing against yourself. So what was I doing? What was I creating yesterday, last week, last month, last year? Have I improved? Yes, then that's a win. You don't need to be comparing yourselves to other people. And jealousy is actually a map. You can take an unhealthy interest in the fortunes and misfortunes of other people. You can be their harshest critic until you then go in and take the action and do it yourself. And then at that point, you can look at the person that you're judging or, you know, jealous of, and you can feel a sense of camaraderie because you're both doing something. You're both taking the action. So with that action, so Julia Cameron gave us an example in here, and she says, with that action, my jealousy vanished, replaced by a feeling of camaraderie. My jealousy has actually been a mask for my fear of doing something I really wanted to do, but was not yet brave enough to take action toward. Jealousy is always a mask for fear that we aren't able to get what we want. Frustration that somebody else seems to be getting what is rightfully ours, even if we are too frightened to reach for it. The truth, revealed by action in the direction of our dreams, is that there is room for all of us. The biggest lie he tells us is that we have no choice but to be jealous. Perversely, jealousy strips us of our will to act when action holds the key to our freedom. Over here on the side, we've got another quote, and it says, with courage, you will dare to take risks. Have the strength to be compassionate and the wisdom to be humble. Courage is the foundation of integrity. And we have a couple of activities in here that I think are going to be really helpful. I hope you guys have been doing the activities in the book. Last week we had some activities based on, you know, our beliefs around money. You know, it was like money madness. My mom always thought money would. My dad thought money was. And like it or not, are the people in our life at a young age create our beliefs, including those around money. So this is a good way to like get down to really see what we really believe. And this is one, I really like this, the jealousy map, an exercise. You can list who you find yourself feeling feelings of jealousy about, and you can write down why. And then the really, really helpful thing is in the third column, which is, what can I do to change this? So her example is, who am I jealous of? My sister Libby. Why? She has a real art studio, and your action can be fix up a spare room, or even make a little corner for yourself to where it's just dedicated to art only. Another one is my friend Ed. He writes good crime novels. An action or antidote is just to try writing one yourself. So I think that this is really cool. You can just sit there and write down anytime that you've had a thought of jealousy, just like write down who it was and why, and maybe write down something that you can try to be the antidote for that. And you don't have to do them all, but it's really good even just to know what you could be doing and how you could be feeling to help you kind of understand your feelings a little bit more. And then we have here archaeology and exercise. And it talks about, things that you missed out doing as a kid, and you can talk about that. And then acknowledging the things that you do have below that. There's another little questionnaire thing that you can fill in. And there's another quote here. It says, I don't have a lot of respect for talent. Talent is genetic. It's what you do with it that counts. And this is just honing in even more on that action-based solution. And then we have some tasks. Did I just blast through this? This is a half an hour live stream this week. I thought this chapter was really short this week. So anyway, this is the chapter. And so basically what I'm taking out of this chapter is that action is the solution for a lot of your feelings, a lot of your avoidance. Seems kind of redundant. I struggle with avoiding doing tasks, and small baby step based action is what has really helped me. I'll be struggling a lot with, I want to do this and I want to do that. And I'll be talking to my mom and she's like, hey, I know it seems big, but how do you eat an elephant? And then she waits for me and I say, one bite at a time, which is the equivalent of just saying baby steps. Break it down into baby steps. If you have a big goal, here's the other thing my mom tells me. Pick one. I have so many things that I want to do, and then I spread my energy thin, and then I don't complete anything because I don't set that time aside to take the action to actually do it. So again, this is just like really helping me illuminate the problems that deep down I really know are there for me, but actually acknowledging them and going through this with you guys has been really helpful for me. So if anybody has any comments on, times that maybe they felt jealous of somebody, that might be a good thing to talk about if you guys want to throw that against the wall and kind of see what sticks, like spaghetti noodles. I don't know. It's just this perfectionist. So let's just go over this again here. Listening to your own internal guide, like hearing past that cynic, that critic, hearing past, or actually perfectionism, even forcing yourself to have unrealistic standards for the things that you create. That's illuminating. And then risking things, allowing yourself to be vulnerable. These are all really heavy subject matter for this, and I just kind of blasted through it with you guys, but I think we covered it all pretty well. So let's look at some tasks that maybe we can do this week that she has in the book. Making this phrase a mantra, treating myself like a precious object will make me strong. Treating myself like a precious object will make me strong. And she's saying to write it out and post it where you can see it, or anything else that makes you feel like you're important. I don't know, like you're worth the work, you guys. You're worth the work. You're all creators in your own way. Otherwise you wouldn't be here. And you've been putting in a lot of work doing this. So I'm proud of you guys, and you're worth it. So again, congratulations. I think I'm going to end the stream. I hope that you guys have a wonderful week. Do your activities. I've also been doing a meditation challenge that I've been working on. Yeah, I know. Halfway mark goes fast. Look at this book we've gone through. I'm actually like excited to finish this series because in my mind I'm like on to the next thing, which like I said, I bite off more than I can chew. So I know we're only halfway through, but I've made like a lot of really cool discoveries and I feel really good. I feel like I'm making a lot of progress, and it's easy to poo-poo, you know, something like this as inconsequential. But really this is good, solid work that we're doing. And from the feedback you guys are giving me, it's like this is really making a difference in a lot of ways. And again, we're connecting. So Zandra says she really liked the receipt tracking thing, and it's been good. You know what? I like the receipt tracking thing too. I actually spent less money this week knowing I had to write everything down, and also knowing that my rent is coming up. But you know, I bought like one stupid thing, but it was like a stupid thing I've been wanting for a long time. So it's like acknowledging that, you know, I work for my money, and if I want this thing, even if somebody else would think that it would be stupid, see, this is my inner critic labeling it as stupid. But anyway, the receipt tracking thing was good for me too. Kim says she watched Russell Brand's interview with Julia Cameron on his April 7th podcast on YouTube. What? It was pretty good. They said the artist is the creator. Oh, I really like that. I'm gonna have to check that. Russell Brand? I haven't heard from that. Like, that guy's been off. I didn't even know he had a podcast. I'm gonna have to check that out. He's a talker too. I'd be interested to see what they have to say about that. Zandra says, more so than my spending, by writing my receipts, I've been able to see my thoughts about the spending. Oh, see, yeah. Kim, I just confused Russell Brand with Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe. But yeah, no, the thoughts on the spending. Again, like I bought like this like holographic face visor thing, like a full face visor. And I was like, this is like really dumb, but like I've really been wanting one, and I think it would be cool. I like to do the dress up parties and stuff. So like costume parties. I'm involved with an event company that does multiple themed costume parties every year, and they did a cyberpunk one, and this visor just would be perfect for that. And you know, I go to these parties a lot, so. Well, at least when the world is open. What? Okay, I'm definitely going to have to check that out. Awesome. Russell Brand interviewed Julia Cameron on April 7th this year. So I'm probably going to go pop that on right now so I can actually hear it. But yeah, I definitely think that trusting your artistic process and sticking with it and just allowing whatever comes out to come out and being non-judgmental of it is really important. So let's just kind of focus on how we're thinking. Again, like Zandra said, the money writing down everything that you spent help her to realize what she thinks about money. And I think that all of these tasks are specifically geared to help us understand how we're thinking so that we can, you know, ignorance allows us to stay in the dark. And if we're able to actually see what's happening, that enables us to utilize the power of our mind to basically self-parent ourselves and say, look, I understand that you might be feeling this way, but logically, this is how it is, and this is what we need to do. So it's a little bit like coaxing yourself and being your own self-parent and getting you to where you need to go. Zandra says, if you are having a hard time convincing yourself to buy a thing and you have the money, just remind yourself that money is just a quantifiable power. And what's the point of power if you don't use it? Ooh. I would like next week if we reviewed a little more of this week. We did that more in the earlier season. I like that. We did that today too, but I liked that it was almost reviewing 2 chapters. Oh, yeah. Okay. So next week I'll go into it a little bit more. So that we can get more of a, so next week I'll review the content more and then review the results more and allow us to have more time for that. And also, Sandra, if there's anything that you guys are interested in discussing, you can feel free to throw it in the chat. You guys have been pretty interactive with this, so I appreciate the feedback. Okay, well, I'll do that. That sounds like a good plan. Cool, guys. So let's see what I have here. Maybe we can do that now. Yeah, I didn't really have anything to add from last week. I'll take more notes this upcoming week. A chat hog. I don't think you're a chat hog. You're being interactive. Joyous day for everybody. Oh, yes, that is a jasmine plant in the picture. My mom bought me that because I've been wanting to get a clematis for my porch. But then I also don't like that the clematises are more seasonal. And so the jasmine stays green throughout the year. And so I changed my gears and decided I wanted a jasmine plant. And then she went and found one because we'd been going out looking for some plants or the jasmine plant, and I couldn't find any anywhere. So that was a really nice gift that she gave me. So I was really happy about that. Jeremy. All right, you guys, love you so much. Thanks for joining me again. You guys have been awesome. Zandra, don't worry. I love that you're interacting. Kim, thank you for interacting too. And Jeremy, it's always good to see you in the chat. It's a koala. That's not Jeremy. It's a koala. All right, you guys. Love you guys. Have a wonderful week. This is Sari heading out. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit subscribe. Hit the bell to be notified when I go to live. And of course, like this video if you enjoyed it and share it with your friends if you think maybe it would be helpful for anybody. All right, you guys. Jeremy is a koala. Bye.